Careblazer, have you started to notice your loved one suddenly avoiding mirrors or reacting fearfully when they see their reflection in a mirror? While this might seem unusual or puzzling, it's actually quite common for people with dementia. Today, we're diving into some of the surprising reasons why seeing mirrors can cause a lot of distress and be confusing. Most importantly, we're going to talk about what you can do to help if this is happening to your loved one. Stay with me. This can transform your approach to your loved one's care. So why are mirrors so difficult for people with dementia? This has to do with the changes that are happening in the brain related to perception. Number one, they have trouble recognizing reflections. They literally might not realize that their reflection in the mirror is actually them. They might think it's somebody else. For example, they might think it's a stranger staring at them, which can be terrifying. Depth perception issues are also a reason somebody with dementia might appear a little confused around mirrors. Sometimes the depth perception issues can make a mirror seem like a hole or a window in a flat surface. So it could cause them, as they're walking by, to kind of freeze and look at it strangely. Increased anxiety. Many people with dementia have anxiety. And so walking past a mirror where they're seeing movements or reflection can contribute to that anxiety, especially if they're not understanding what they're seeing. This mirror confusion really just comes down to visual perception changes that are happening in the brain. Let me share a couple of real life examples. I was working with a Careblazer once inside of our Care Collective program, and her mom would scream in her bedroom, especially at night. And she was trying to figure out what was going on that was causing her mom to scream. In the room, she had sliding closet doors, and those sliding closet doors were mirrored. And so her mom was screaming at the reflection in the mirror, thinking it was somebody in her room at night. She was terrified. Another situation, which isn't quite a mirror, but it is very common as well, is sometimes people with dementia can't recognize that somebody on the TV or through a computer screen is actually somebody far away, and they might actually get confused and think that person is there in the room with them now. I will never forget when I was doing a clinical interview with a patient over, similar to Zoom or something, but it was like over virtual appointment. And he kept sticking out his hand in the video to try to shake my hand, not like grasping that I was in another location and not in the same room with him. Have you noticed anything like this with your loved one? Confusion around mirrors or even images on TV? Okay, so let's talk about what you can do to help. Number one, if possible, cover or remove the mirrors. You can use removable decals, sheets, wallpaper, wrapping paper, curtains, all kinds of things to disguise a mirror that maybe you can't remove. Or you can, if you can, just remove it altogether. One of my favorite techniques whenever possible is just to remove the trigger. Minimize reflections. So sometimes this mirror confusion can also show up in shiny appliances, things like shiny refrigerators, windows. That can increase confusion too as they start to see a reflection in movement. If a mirror, for whatever reason, is absolutely required where it is without being able to adjust it, you can consider trying to modify the environment by adjusting the lighting and making the lighting a bit more dim. Number four, validate their feelings. If they are terrified and showing confusion about something they're seeing, the reflection, you can validate their feelings to say something like, I can understand why this would be confusing for you, or I understand why this could be upsetting. Here, let's make you a bit more comfortable. Finding a way to hear what they're saying without dismissing it as, oh, that's just your reflection. And of course, one of our favorite dementia tips and techniques, which we should only do after we hear them out, is going to be to redirect their focus. So this is going to be using distractions or gentle guidance to move them away from the mirrors and get them focused on something else. Activities that they enjoy can certainly help shift their attention. A couple of proactive steps that you can take would be to look for behavior patterns. So pay attention to when a mirror is around, and this can help you identify specific triggers and how you might be able to address them better. You could also consider involving them in the changes. So if it's appropriate, you can consider involving your loved one in covering up the mirrors to make them more comfortable and to help them feel like they have more control over their environment. And like we've already mentioned, try as much as possible to use non-reflective surfaces, more matte finishes to create a more dementia-friendly space. All right, so what are the key takeaway messages from this video? Number one, this mirror confusion is really a result of visual perception changes that are happening in the brain for people with dementia. By making simple adjustments to the environment, validating their feelings, you can help reduce some of the distress that they experience. If you found this video helpful, you can like it, subscribe. It's all for free. It helps YouTube find other people like you in the world who are searching for dementia support and information and don't yet know that this channel exists. Also, if you're interested in joining an amazing supportive group of Careblazers that come together every single week to talk about what they're doing in real life when challenges like this pop up, you can join us inside of our Care Collective, where we share the best strategies that we come across, and you'll have a 24/7 resource library full of bonuses to help you through whatever caregiving challenge you might be facing right now. That and more is linked in the description below. I will be back next week with a new video. As always, Careblazer, keep up the amazing work. Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.